The 1976 Bicentennial Eisenhower dollar. Imagine this: you're digging through an old jar of coins in your attic, maybe a forgotten box from your grandparents, and you pull out a big, heavy, shiny dollar coin. At first glance, it looks like any other Eisenhower dollar, big, bold, and silver in color, but then you see it. The date isn't just any date, it's 1976. Your pulse quickens. You flip it over, and there's the majestic Liberty Bell superimposed over the moon. And then you notice the small D mint mark. What you might not realize in that electrifying moment is this: you could be holding one of the most valuable bicentennial Eisenhower dollars in existence. Not just worth $1, not just worth $100, some of these rare error coins have sold for thousands, and in the right circumstances, the perfect, once-in-a-lifetime specimen could push into the hundreds of thousands, or even the jaw-dropping $1 million mark. The 1976 Eisenhower dollar is already a piece of American history. Struck to celebrate the nation's 200th birthday, it's a coin that captures the pride, power, and achievements of the United States in a single design. But here's the twist: while millions of these coins were made, a tiny handful were struck with rare, dramatic minting errors. And those errors, they turn an already iconic coin into something that collectors will battle fiercely over at auction. We're talking double strikes, off-center strikes, wrong planchette errors, missing clad layers, and even transitional errors that should not exist. Every one of these mistakes happened inside the U.S. Mint, and everyone slipped past inspectors before finding its way into circulation or into collector hands. That's why they're so rare, and why they command such staggering values when they surface. But before we get to the errors and the mind-blowing prices, let's rewind to the history. The Eisenhower dollar was first introduced in 1971, honoring both President Dwight D. Eisenhower and the Apollo 11 moon landing. By 1976, America was gearing up for the bicentennial, a massive national celebration marking 200 years since the Declaration of Independence. To honor the occasion, the U.S. Mint temporarily replaced the regular coin designs with special bicentennial designs on the quarter, half dollar, and dollar. The Eisenhower dollar's reverse, designed by Dennis R. Williams, featured the Liberty Bell in front of the moon, a symbol of American freedom and exploration, blending the past with the future. The obverse still bore Frank Gasparo's bust of Eisenhower, but the date was replaced with the dual 1976. The Denver Mint struck millions of bicentennial Eisenhower dollars with the D mint mark, but the vast majority are common. What we're talking about today are the few that escape the mint's presses in error form, coins so unusual that they stand apart from the rest of the mintage, commanding serious attention and breathtaking prices. Take the famous wrong planchette errors, for example. Every Eisenhower dollar is supposed to be struck on a large copper-nickel clad planchette, weighing about 22.68 grams. But once in a while, a planchette meant for another coin, like a clad quarter, or even a silver-clad bicentennial dollar planchette from the San Francisco Mint, was accidentally fed into the presses at Denver. The result is an undersized or unusually composed bicentennial-like that shouldn't even exist. These wrong planchette errors are worth a fortune, some selling for well over $10,000 in high-grade condition. Then there are the dramatic double strikes. Imagine the coin being struck once, then somehow failing to eject properly before being struck again. The result can be a second, off-center image of Eisenhower's face or the Liberty Bell overlapping the first design. The more dramatic the shift, the higher the value. In pristine condition, a spectacular double-struck 1976 bicentennial Eisenhower dollar can fetch tens of thousands of dollars from collectors hungry for visually stunning mint errors. Another rare error is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank is not seated properly in the press, causing part of the design to be missing entirely, replaced by a blank crescent of metal. The more off-center the strike, and the more visible the date and mint mark, the more valuable the coin. A severe off-center strike with a clean D mint mark can bring in thousands at auction. But perhaps the most breathtaking of all are the transitional errors, coins struck on plankets that belong to a completely different year or composition. These are the absolute holy grail for Eisenhower bicentennial error hunters. In extremely rare cases, a bicentennial obverse and reverse have been found on a 40% silver planchette when it should have been copper nickel, or even on foreign coin plankets intended for another country. These jaw-dropping mint mistakes have been known to sell for six figures in top condition. Of course, condition is king in the coin world. A rare error in heavily circulated condition will still be worth far more than face value, but if that same coin is in pristine mint state graded MS65, MS66, or even higher by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, the value skyrockets. Flawless surfaces, sharp strikes, and full luster can mean the difference between a $5,000 coin and a $50,000 coin. And when you combine a top-grade condition with a dramatic, undeniable mint error, that's when you step into the realm of life-changing money. Collectors prize these coins not just for their rarity, but for their story. The 1976 Bicentennial Eisenhower dollar already carries the legacy of a nation's 200th birthday, with a design that's instantly recognizable to anyone who loves American coinage. Add in the thrill of a mint-made blunder, and you've got a tangible piece of history that also happens to be a breathtaking work of art. Every time one of these rare coins surfaces at auction, it sparks a bidding war. And that's where the magic happens, watching the price climb higher and higher as collectors compete, each one determined to own a piece of numismatic history. Some of the most famous sales have stunned even seasoned coin dealers. Imagine a coin you could spend at the grocery store for a loaf of bread, and some milk suddenly selling for $20,000, $50,000, even $100,000 or more. There are documented cases of bicentennial Eisenhower dollars with extraordinary errors fetching prices in that range, and experts agree that as time passes and fewer pristine examples remain, the value will only go up. That means, if you're lucky enough to find one now hidden in change, tucked away in an old collection, or even sitting in your dresser drawer, you might be sitting on a small fortune. It's worth noting that many people have the regular 1976 Eisenhower dollar and think they've struck gold. The truth is, without a genuine mint error or an exceptional grade, most are worth just a few dollars. The key is knowing exactly what to look for, those telltale signs of a wrong planchet, a double strike, or an off-center design. Even something like a missing clad layer, where the copper core is exposed on one or both sides, can mean a huge jump in value. That's why serious collectors use magnification, lighting, and weight measurements to authenticate and evaluate these coins. If you do happen to suspect you found a rare 1976 Bicentennial Eisenhower dollar error, the first thing to do is handle it carefully. Don't clean it. Cleaning can destroy the surface and slash the value. Place it in a protective holder and consider sending it to a reputable grading service for authentication. A certified grade and error designation can make all the difference when it comes time to sell, proving to buyers that your coin is the real deal. The story of the 1976 Bicentennial Eisenhower dollar is more than just a tale about a coin. It's a window into a moment in American history, a celebration of independence, and a testament to the art and precision of the U.S. Mint. But it's also a reminder that even in a highly controlled environment, mistakes happen. And when they do, the result can be something truly extraordinary. These rare errors are like hidden treasures scattered across the country, waiting for sharp-eyed collectors to discover them. Think about it. Millions of these dollars were struck, yet only a microscopic fraction bear these extraordinary mint mistakes. Most people will never see one in person, let alone hold one in their hands. That's what makes them so thrilling, the idea that somewhere out there, maybe in your pocket change or in a dusty box of coins, there could be a piece of metal worth more than a luxury car, a house, or even a small fortune. And that's why stories of these coins continue to capture the imagination. Every new discovery is like unearthing buried treasure, proof that the world still holds mysteries waiting to be uncovered. So the next time you come across a bicentennial Eisenhower dollar with that proud D mint mark, take a closer look. You never know, you might just have one of the rarest, most valuable examples ever made, a coin that could change your life in an instant. From wrong plankets worth thousands, to double strikes that ignite bidding wars, to transitional errors so rare they can hit six figures. The 1976 Bicentennial Eisenhower dollar is a shining example of how history, artistry, and rarity can come together in a single, stunning piece of metal. And for the lucky few who find them, they're not just coins, they're keys to a story worth telling, a legacy worth preserving, and a value worth dreaming about.